All right, I had trouble pausing that music. Folks, we have an interesting one for you tonight. We had the biggest collapse of an airline in 25 years. And we're going to talk about that tonight, and we're going to talk about the impact. But on May 2nd, Spirit Airlines went out of business, and they shut down, and 17,000 jobs lost over the country. And
if y'all are familiar, Spirit Airlines was the value airline where you'd basically get the seat super cheap, but then you'd add on luggage or not. We had some people in town that would vacation here, but they would ship their luggage to themselves, so they didn't even have to pay. So they'd pay like $29 to fly here. They'd ship their luggage and pick it up at the post office.
Yeah.
So you could fly super cheap with Spirit, but over the last several years, they've been having a lot of money issues, and they were trying to get the administration to save them, but I guess it didn't work out because they had just announced a few days ago they were donezo, like no warning, just
they had already
off.
The problem is they had already tried to go bankrupt twice since 2024. Yeah. I think.
No, they had.
Yeah. So 17,000 jobs lost nationally. But the real question tonight is, how does that affect us here locally? What does that mean for you in Myrtle Beach?
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about that. What does that mean for our tourism economy? And so just stick with us. What does it mean for our
tourism,
expansion?
People living here.
The airport expansion. So we're going to talk about these questions tonight. We thought this would be a good topic because a lot of you are visiting. I know my parents, would
they
take
used to fly Spirit all the time.
Take it regularly. And Cleveland was one of the places they had expanded to have direct flights. So,
well, the thing is, they had a lot of flights from the Midwest, like you're saying, Ohio, Illinois, and then of course.
Did you just say
North.
Illinois?
Yeah.
What?
Illinois.
True Whatever. Southerner. It's not Illinois. It's Illinois.
Whatever. He grew up there. So, but the Northeast, of course, New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania. We get a ton of people moving here, buying second homes here, and also vacationing here from those states. So we have a lot of people that live here and visit family up north because that's where they moved from, is from these areas I just listed. So it's not just people traveling here, it's people living here that now don't have that option anymore, because the nice thing about Spirit was they were offering nonstop flights to all those areas that feed Myrtle Beach. And so now it might be a little more difficult to get to where you need to go without all the nonstop flights that they were offering. So
they were in business 34 years. And I think on May 2nd, they started like an orderly wind down, but people found out in the middle of the night that they didn't have jobs, from what I understand.
I never even heard about Spirit until we moved here. And it used to be 40 to 50% of all flights in Myrtle Beach were Spirit. I mean, it was like pretty much all going on here with Spirit and American Airlines. I was going to call it U.S. Airways.
Yeah. Hey, Ed. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, Ed.
Good to see you.
But now, luckily, since we've moved here, the airport's already expanded. We'll talk about future expansion, but it has already expanded, and we've added so many new carriers, Delta, Southwest, Breeze, and so then Spirit was down to only 25% of flights here, but that's still a quarter of all flights in and out of Myrtle Beach that Spirit was doing. And that's a big chunk that now is gone. And so it'll be interesting to see who steps up and fills those.
Well, that's the
spots.
Good news. And that's, we'll talk about that. But they were the first major airline in 25 years to go out of business due to finances.
Was the last one Midway? Because I was telling Frank that's my mom worked for Midway when I was growing up, and it went out.
It might have been, but 17,000 jobs gone. which is really interesting. 14,000 Spirit employees plus thousands of contractors.
I was thinking, don't y'all think that they should have or could have gotten bought out by another airline instead of just going under? Like somebody else could take over all their routes and their planes and stuff.
I think it depends on the situation, right? And how bad it's been run.
Yeah, they must have been in bad.
And who's gonna, if you're taking on a bunch of debt and it doesn't make sense, then it's like, let them fail. And now let's say I'm American Airlines and I'm like, well, this is a good opportunity for us.
Yeah.
Spirit goes out, we step in wherever they are, and it costs us nothing, and now we just increase our revenue.
Take over the flights.
The margins are already, from what I understand, in the airline industry are razor thin as it is. So
do you think that, because I know we've heard a lot about all of the airlines suffering lately because of the fuel prices that just skyrocketed. So do you think that just was like the final straw for them and sent them over the edge, and they were like, just shut down right now?
I think that was the final. That could have been the final straw,
because they might have been able to like edge by maybe, except for that kind of just.
This was not though a big shock. It shouldn't have been a big shock. They filed bankruptcy twice since 2024.
Yeah.
So this was not a huge surprise. I think to some, everybody knew they were in trouble, and there's some politics in this, and we won't go into that of why it could it have been saved, could it not have been. But the bottom line is a lot of people are out of jobs. I think it's 5,500 flight attendants. Jeez. Like we talked about, 17,000 jobs total. So it's going to affect a lot of people, and so that's really what.
Well, can you imagine you have a vacation planned or a trip here or to family, not even a vacation, you just live here, and then you're flying out tomorrow and they say today we're done, like no notice, like your flight is canceled, call your credit card company to hopefully get. What if you paid for it like a year ago?
Think of how you would have reacted after our trip. We were remember our trip we were going in the Caribbean?
Oh my God.
That's a stressful situation to be in, especially when there's like no options.
Yeah.
You're geared up, you're packed, you're so excited to finally take a vacation.
You've got
and then they're like,
pay your hotels.
Not only are we delaying your flight, the airline's out of business. There's no chance to make it up. Go home.
Yeah. And you're not getting your money back. Like, go to your credit card company. Good luck. I just can't imagine. I feel so bad for all those people that were affected.
But do you blame? Don't take this the wrong way if this is you.
I'm already taking it the wrong way because you're saying that. So
do you blame anybody? If you know Spirit has tried to claim bankruptcy twice since 2024, do you think you're living on the edge booking a flight through Spirit since then?
No, because they didn't go under.
It doesn't matter. They were clearly having problems.
Yeah, but then they've been making it. And then you would think there would be some kind of wind down.
Well, like, that's apparently
hey, we're not booking any more flights.
That's kind of what they did since May 2nd, apparently.
Well, I mean, tell that to all the people that had flights that got canceled.
They also were hoping for a 500 million federal bailout.
Yeah.
It fell through. But I think if I had a big vacation that I was planning, I'm not blaming anybody. I'm just saying if I knew about it, I probably would have said, maybe we should book with a different airline so we're not walking up to the gate.
I don't think you would have said that. But anyway, nobody thinks like that. But think about it. Let's say you booked on Spirit because it was inexpensive, right? And then it gets canceled out of the blue. You got to figure out how to get here. And now the flights are more expensive because the fuel than when you might have booked it months ago. There's maybe no options, if anything. So now you're like out the money from Spirit, plus you're spending probably double on trying to get here now. That's a bummer.
It is a bummer.
I guess, would trip insurance cover that? We need an insurance agent on here. I guess maybe always get, we never bought travel insurance until this happened to us one time. And I guess you never think it's going to happen to you until it happens and things get messed up with your flight and you can't get where you need to go. And
that's a frustrating situation.
So crazy.
And it affected a lot of people nationally. And we'll talk about what this looks like to repair this situation. But
here's the good thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
80% of people that vacation here travel by car. So the good news is, it's not good for the 20%. Well, not everybody flew on Spirit though. So we've got all the airlines now here. So the good news is a lot of people that are coming from the radius around Myrtle Beach, which is what makes this such an appealing place to go, is you don't have to fly for a lot of people. And so luckily for them, they're not affected. And hopefully because of that, our tourism won't be affected too bad. I'm sure it will be, but hopefully it won't be that bad.
Well, Spirit wasn't just another airline here. They were our largest provider, I think. One of our largest
25%. So
yeah, so they were one of the largest
down.
Service providers at our airport. So
if I was in Ohio, I would just get in my car and drive down. I wouldn't want.
I think they operated 8 routes out of Myrtle Beach. So
only 8 now. They must have gone down.
Well, they operated 8. It was Boston, New York City, Newark, Fort Lauderdale, Atlantic City, and Pittsburgh, and Latrobe, Pennsylvania. Which
yeah, but they were doing Cleveland.
But I was going to say.
But then lately we haven't flown it because I guess maybe that's why they weren't.
But just this past spring, they added 5 new additional routes, seasonal routes.
Oh, they added the routes and then they got all the money and then they.
Well, that's the thing.
Out.
That's the funny thing is they were seasonal routes. Remember when my family was like, hey, we can't, my mom was like, we can't fly back because we can only fly here. They're going to stop serving the area. And I was like, what is going on? Because they were seasonal.
Yeah.
So they weren't doing anything outside of that. And then on the day of the shutdown, 20 Spirit flights were grounded at Myrtle alone. Gosh. 20 were grounded right here on the day that they shut down, leaving travelers stranded. So if you're leaving Myrtle and they're like, these 20 flights, they're toast.
I think I'd be rather happy on the leaving end than the arriving end.
Yeah.
You know, you're like, oh man, but like you get to stay here.
At Myrtle,
but otherwise you're like bags packed in the airport, ready to go. And your pilot comes on, hey guys, we're not taking off. We're never taking off. That would suck.
I want to know if you're watching, do you fly Spirit to come here? Have you ever flown Spirit to come here? Did you fly Spirit at all? Either way,
were
what's
you
your
affected
experience?
by this?
Yeah.
Did you have any flights planned? And what did you do? Did Spirit reach out to you? Like, that's what I would want to know.
Well, I think also there's a question of why did they go out of business? And I think everybody's going to have their, you're sitting here like, well, they went out, but no one's asking the question from a business perspective. I want to know, why did they go out of business?
That's the business coach.
Well, and I would say, pricing probably. Pricing dynamic
called up the CEO
and bad customer service
and offer your services and helped him get out of this mess before he went bankrupt.
If anybody, if someone from Spirit that runs the show has questions, just give me a call.
Yeah, if your company's about to go under, call Frank first. He will help fix the situation, right, Frank?
But here's what's get interesting, and this is what the national news isn't telling you. We just finished a new section expansion in Myrtle Beach Airport.
That's so exciting.
Yeah,
because since we moved here, the airport has gotten so much bigger. They've brought in so many more carriers, so many more flight options, which is huge. And they've expanded the airport. The new expansion already was beautiful. They're expanding it again, putting a parking deck in. So, I mean, that just shows you how many people are continually coming to Myrtle Beach and moving here and actually regularly using the airport just for daily life because they live here.
I think
it's 6 new gates that they're bringing in to
pretty cool.
Myrtle Beach. So they're still saying that's set for December this year. So they haven't announced any kind of delay based on Spirit. So I would think that they would have enough confidence that they can fill those spots with flights based on that.
Yeah. One of the things that I've always loved about Myrtle Beach Airport is like, we've flown, I have flown to every major airport you can think of pretty much in the US, outside the US. And what's great is when you land here, and it's just quiet. It's quiet,
so
it's clean. It's not this like big situation when you come to the airport. Now that's good and bad, but that's what's great about the airport here. Did you know that we're the number 2 largest single runway airport, right behind San Diego International Airport?
I didn't know that, but I do know that our airport has consistently gotten an award for the best small airport in the country multiple times.
The expansion cost $94 million.
But they don't do that unless they would project the growth long term, right? Before they would make that kind of investment in the airport. So that just tells you, we've been talking in past weeks about how much the area is growing and how many people are moving here. And that really proves it, because they wouldn't be doing such an expensive, large expansion if they didn't project that growth to continue in tourism and both people moving here. And I think that's what's driving that.
Absolutely. I mean, we just did a quick video on how this area is exploding and how people want to be here. Planes is how they're going to get here. Cars is one, planes is another.
Well, and another thing, when we talked last week about people moving here and working remotely, sometimes those people need airport to get to where they want, because they actually do have to fly to wherever for their work. And so having an airport with a lot of options is helpful for the economy here, because people that move here want those options. They want to know they don't have to drive to Charleston or Columbia or wherever to get a flight somewhere. We offer so many flights, and of course, a lot of them go and start in Charlotte or Atlanta, and then you go to where you want. But we have a lot more nonstop flights than we used to have.
For sure. And what's crazy is, we just built the capacity, we just opened the gates, and now one of our largest carriers disappeared.
Well, but think about it. Last time, it wasn't that long ago that they opened up the last expansion, and that filled up so quick that they have another expansion. So I don't think that they're going to have, I think it'll work itself out and just give more opportunities to the carriers already here, or maybe another carrier to come in that hasn't been able to yet. So
100%.
I think it'll be really interesting to see. I mean, what carriers would y'all like to see in Myrtle Beach? I think that'd be an interesting thing to think about.
You mean at the airport?
Yeah.
Well, there's going to be a lot that
just got Southwest.
You're not going to get any of the big ones.
Why?
Well, because international wise, I don't think that'll happen yet. But when we get another runway and we start to get to that level, maybe.
Well, we're technically Myrtle Beach International Airport.
That's true. Yeah. That's how you get everybody. We just put international on the end.
Well, you got to fly somewhere, even if it's just Canada, it's international, right? So, but I mean, hopefully if people are living here and are requiring those flights, then maybe they'll add them. I don't know.
Well, what we've been doing is they've been trying to have more options so that we're not reliant on any one carrier.
Yeah, which was makes smart. Sense. Because think about it. If Spirit was still doing 40% of the flights here like they used to, that would have been a lot more devastating to the area. But now that they don't have all of their eggs in one basket as much, it's not going to hit us as hard as it did. Although for people looking for that value vacation, the value flights, that kind of takes away some options. So do you think that will affect the number of people that come here if it costs twice as much to fly? Will they go somewhere else, or will they still come here?
Well, I don't know that it'll change that much as far as who's coming here. I think if flights slow down because of gas and fuel and pricing, that'll happen everywhere. But we have 59 nonstop locations. And, I think it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. But a lot of the people that left Spirit or lost their job at Spirit, they're going to filter into the other airlines that step in. And I think that's really going to help. But, expanding to other airlines is going to be key for us.
So I'd be interested to know if any investors have felt any changes in their rental properties. We've had a few cancellations this past week. I don't know if it's related to Spirit or not. It's for maybe in the next month or two. So I don't know if that's related, but I'm sure we'll book it back up. But I'm interested to see if anybody else has had it. If it does affect things, unless people come for a short period of time because they can't figure that out, then will it drive the rental rates down because more people are competing for the same pool of tourists to book their place?
Yeah. I don't know. That's a good question.
So it might be a good time to buy an oceanfront condo, because maybe somebody is like, oh no, my bookings are down, and you can get a good deal. It's already great on the oceanfront to get a good deal right now. So, and you're going into the summer season of rentals, which I mean, this might affect it a little bit, but again, 80% of the people drive in. And a lot of those places that we're flying could technically drive.
Yes.
I mean, some people
Most
come
of them are a
from
couple hours away,
California
yeah.
or whatever, but let's say Ohio or Pennsylvania, they can technically drive down, worst case scenario, if they can't get onto their Spirit flight. So that's what I would do instead of letting it ruin my vacation, for sure. If you have the ability to drive.
If you have the ability to do it.
People couldn't.
But it's expensive. I mean, if you had a flight scheduled and then not, now with the gas prices, your trip, even driving is going to be way more expensive, right? So you have that. And and who knows if some of the people that had to cancel their flights, who knows if they're getting refunded on the booking for the place they were staying. Because they canceled last minute. I mean, so now you lost your flight money, you lost the hotel. Now you're going to get in a car and drive, which is more expensive because of gas. I wouldn't leave my
hotel. I'd just drive there and get in.
Yeah, but maybe you couldn't do that right away. Maybe, I don't know. Depends.
Do you think because there's less competition now at the airport that the flight prices will go up from the other carriers because they're like, hey, little less competition. People are trying to get here. Let's take advantage. Or do you think
wonder if there's a rule like, like
price gouging rule or something?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good one. A good question. I don't know if they can do that or not, but that'd be a good business decision without making it so impossible that people couldn't book another flight.
Yeah.
What you would do is fill all the empty seats on your plane and just put them at a discount. You'd say, hey, these are already empty. Might as well offer it to these people, but at a discounted rate, half the price.
Every flight we take is so booked solid here.
Well, that's because they're probably only doing so many. If they expanded how many flights they had, and some of them might have open seats.
They're saying that typical expansion like that for a flight takes 6 to 12 months to work itself out, to, I guess, plan to do it and then start flying that flight. So it could cause a little bit of a delay here, getting those flights back online, from other carriers.
For sure.
I mean, we could see totally this whole entire, if you think about 6 to 12 months, it could be this whole entire rental season that is kind of slowed down on flights a little bit. And so it will be interesting if it affects how many people come this year and how much rental income people are making or less.
Well, here's the other thing. What we're not talking about is, a lot of the trips that I would take when I was traveling out on flights late at night or early in the morning were business related. And it was mostly people from Charlotte, and they were making a quick connection because they could get here and get home in the same day.
Yeah.
And that's going to be much more difficult now. So that's going to affect some businesses where some salespeople, some managers can't get here to companies that they have or offices they got to see. So that's the other piece. It's not just vacationers. It's the businesses.
Like I said, it's people that live here and might work remote and need to travel to their main office or see a client out of town somewhere.
Yeah.
And maybe, like you said, if they went for the day on Spirit, Spirit didn't do as many flights. See, they would have one flight time a day. The other carriers have going into Atlanta or Charlotte, multiple options for you. So it was kind of scary booking Spirit anyway, because if you got delayed or canceled, when are you going to get a fly again,
Yeah.
But the risk was because the flight was so cheap, you were willing to take the risk, I suppose.
Yeah. I mean, I wonder, okay, so a question for everybody out there. If you flew Spirit, did you think that their customer service was worth the price of the ticket? I mean, you were paying low price for a ticket, but you were getting, let's be honest, you sit in a Spirit Airlines seat and it's like you're sitting on a sheet of metal.
I agree that it was
and customer service, okay. I mean, I'm not expecting much on a plane that's 45-minute flight.
They had good customer service.
I didn't have any bad experiences.
Flight attendants were nice. And then one time we were delayed. And then afterwards, the CEO or whatever sent an email with a $50 coupon and apologies for the delay. They didn't have to do that. And American Airlines has never done that.
I'm just saying.
I'm for Spirit.
I'm asking a question. If you
I'm saying they have better customer service than
but I didn't have bad experience, but I was never like, oh my gosh, that was an amazing flight. So
well, that's because you were you're too posh to
the seats are very,
well, bring a seat cushion and just put it down under you.
Well, the point is that's what was happening. They had
most of it
really
wasn't
cheap
long flights. Most of the Spirit flights were up and down. They were close proximity. They weren't flying to California in the seat.
Yeah, I get it, but
So you're in
you
there
have
for
to
like
want
an
that.
hour.
So I'm asking if people think that what
Obviously,
they
people
got
did.
was, well, obviously not enough did, because they're out of
Yes.
business.
Or they were just flying too cheap. I think as more carriers came into our market, it gave them more competition. And like Breeze is a cheaper carrier too. And it used to be that Spirit was the only one doing that. And then other people started to compete with that model.
So another question would be, do you think Breeze is going to make it?
Are
Do
they
you
going to
think
learn
Breeze
their
is,
lesson?
are they going to learn from Spirit? Because, you know, here's Spirit Part 2.
Yeah. Well, maybe they
I don't know. I don't know anything about Breeze.
Maybe you should call the CEO there and offer your services.
I mean, hey, if he sees this, he might ring me up. You never know.
Oh my gosh. Key takeaways. Call Frank.
So
solve all your problems.
Bottom line.
Do you think it'll affect real estate here in any way?
I don't think so. I mean, like you said, I think people are coming here to vacation. I don't think anyone's going to say, I'm not buying real estate in Myrtle Beach because I can't get there this weekend, or flight, you know, Spirit's out of business or whatever. They'll find a way to get here. They'll still come to purchase and hang out. I don't think it's going to, it could affect people this year just because of the people that lost their flights and all that jazz. But I don't know that it's going to have an effect past the middle of this year.
Well, I think we've seen spikes in tourism here every time, like during COVID, because people couldn't travel outside of the country, or you could, it was just really difficult to do. And now with the economy kind of not being amazing and the gas prices, it's really expensive to go out of the country right now. So again, people look, where can I go that would be fun in the country, and come back to Myrtle Beach. So I think Myrtle Beach is always one of those that's consistently busy every year, but during tough economies, things like COVID, it really drives, I feel like, the tourism even more here, because we are one of the more affordable destinations to vacation anyway, because of hotel prices are more affordable than other areas. And then if you can drive here, it's going to be more affordable. So I think still, just because of the economic conditions, will help counteract Spirit going under.
I don't think this is going to be a big deal. I think, which we've already seen, this is a layup for bigger airlines. I mean, it's like, if you already fly here, it's like, what's the big deal? We put a couple extra planes here. We now expand our reach here in Myrtle. If you're already going to some or all of the airports, why would you not just grow your fleet? It's a perfect layup.
Well, if you knew Spirit was booked on those flights, then I would add them. But I would think that they probably will still have a layover. Possibly, I would think. But that's only because that's what they currently do. I don't know.
Well, take like American Airlines. Their hub is in Charlotte.
Yeah.
So a lot of people were coming from Charlotte, weren't they? From Spirit, or no? Was that not a place? I guess Charlotte might not have been a.
I don't think Spirit flew. Well, we never flew Spirit.
I don't think I listed Charlotte, so that might not have been a thing. But I know Southwest, Allegiant, and American Airlines have pledged to increase their schedules here.
Oh, good.
So that's already happened. So that's the good news. They're fighting to get in here.
I mean, we didn't have a lot of those airlines when we first moved here, so it shows Spirit went under, but our airport is still expanding. So I think it'll be interesting to see. Do you know how much tourism dollars come every year in Myrtle Beach?
Oh my gosh, I don't have any idea.
If you had to guess,
I wouldn't even know what to guess. Let's just say, I don't even know what a realistic number would be.
10 billion.
I was not going to guess anything near that.
What were you, really? What would you have said?
I was going to say like a billion or 100, a couple $100 million.
10 plus billion a year.
Wow. 10 billion.
Can you imagine? We should be paying no taxes. What the heck?
Yeah, right? No, because then we have to fund everything that's happening as people move here.
I mean, yes, people moving here, but this is great news for our rental properties. And if somebody's considering a rental property, this is a strong market. During down economies, during good economies, people are always coming. We have a PGA, what is the Pro-Am tour going on right now? Myrtle Beach Classic. I mean, it feels like all the time we are adding new exciting things to the area, which again will drive more airlines, I think, to come into our airport and offer more options for us here. So that's really exciting, and it's a good place to invest, but maybe watch what's going on in the condo in the short-term rental market, because if somebody does see a down year because this does affect them, that might be another reason for them to give a good deal on their property.
For sure. Adding events is a huge one. I mean, we're building, you get the wave park, you got all these things that are coming.
Many awesome big things. I mean, we had Top Golf was huge when that came, and then Pop Stroke, which was Tiger Woods' cool mini golf, came. Barefoot Landing was totally redone. Now they've been redoing all of Broadway at the beach, and new attractions are opening. It's just so exciting. Guy Fieri's place, Flavortown is about to open. It's getting really close. Every time I drive by, it looks like any day now.
They needed something there. That was getting rough.
It's in the old Myrtle Beach Mall. So, but they've been adding stuff over there. So, and that might lead to more things going into the old mall there instead of it's shutting down, which is really exciting.
Well, that's yes, I agree. I was thinking of like the mall and how much still needs to be done there, but there's a lot that needs to happen.
We'll definitely try to go to Flavortown and tell y'all what we think, and maybe show a video of what it looks like.
Bass Pro, which is always
packed. My gosh, all day, every day of the week.
Bass Pro is packed 24/7.
It's crazy that they have so much business. It's like unbelievable how much business goes through Bass Pro Shops. How did we get on this?
Flavortown. You brought up Flavortown.
Well, I was just saying there's so much more exciting things. There's events every weekend. So people will find a way to get here, I think, because there's so many exciting things going on. And so it'll hurt for the short term, but I think it'll be okay in the long run.
I agree. I don't think it's going to make much of a difference, because if we didn't have other airlines, again, back to that, if we didn't have other airlines that were going to pick up the slack, but I think Breeze committed to 11 slots and all the other airlines are jumping in. So
that's exciting. So
it's good.
Well, let us know what y'all think about it. And if you have been affected, like we said, or if you're interested in exploring, maybe buying a property here or a vacation home here, give us a call. We'd love to help you out. This, like we said, might be a good opportunity to check it out. And if you have any questions about anything here, Frank or I are happy to help you guys.
Absolutely. And if you have any questions about the area or any feedback about what you think about the airlines, because I'm interested to see what everybody else thinks.
Who
did you fly Spirit a lot?
Yeah, and who do you want to see here?
I'm just wondering how many people were actually affected with this. So we talked about it, but I don't really know. So
I haven't heard anybody tell me personally yet that they've been affected. But again, we did have some cancellations. It could be because they dropped their flight. They couldn't get anything for the right price and they still were in their cancellation window. I mean, it could be related. So
could be
because of the timing of it. So anyway,
but this is the kind of thing that happens when you have an area that's growing. So but other places were affected too. It just didn't feel like it because they weren't such a small area. So here it represents a good chunk, but I think they're doing the right thing by expanding new airlines and not just one. And I think that's going to be huge.
Well, when we first moved here, I thought Spirit was like, this was their hub. That was like all you would see at the airport was Spirit. It was everything. And so it was good that that changed over the years. But I think at the beginning, they were smart to go into smaller airports and offer flights that nobody else was offering. I think it was a good business plan to start with. But then as those small airports got busy and then they had more competition.
They should have done what Southwest did. I read that Southwest, when they first started as an airline, used to give you a bottle of liquor when you got on the plane.
I don't think anybody does that anymore. I just heard that Delta's not even giving snacks or drinks now for shorter flights. So, they're all cutting back. It's not just Spirit, I think, having issues, but others can weather the storm.
Got to give a gift when you get on the plane. But, I think there was something they probably could have done. But there's always lessons to be learned when something like this happens with a business. So
true. And we hope everything else goes
We need
strong.
those people to get jobs and get themselves back on their feet. That's what I feel bad for, is everybody that lost their job. So
I'm wondering if they had more notice than the general public or not. Probably not.
No, I don't think so.
That's a
So I
bummer.
think they were all probably wondering and hoping because they were possibly going to get funded through the government and get a
Yeah.
bailout, but they didn't. And so I think it came to as a surprise. But even if you had 4 weeks, it's still not much notice.
Yeah.
So now you've got to go to a different airline. But the good news is they all should be able to get jobs at different airlines. Hopefully, that's what I hope for everybody.
Yeah.
And if you have any questions about it or you have any questions about the area, let us know. We just thought this would be interesting to talk about because it does affect your area and it affects all of you that are interested in Myrtle Beach. So anything else?
No.
All right. All right, everybody. Till next week. We'll talk to you later.